What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome to Friday's episode. So just got to make sure I clarify. Monday and Tuesday are cybersecurity topics. Wednesday, cybersecurity discussion of some sort. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP, where I talk to people who are within the industry or trying to break into the industry of IT or cybersecurity, and soon project management as well. I want to do an Ask a PMP episode or two in the near future. And then Friday, which you are listening to right now, we ran about movies, books, games, diss tracks, stuff like that. So if this is your entryway into the podcast, please go back for the cyber stuff if that's what you're into. Or if not, like we have a lot of people who just want to listen to us rant about our everyday lives or vacation plans and things of that nature. That's cool too. I just don't want to confuse you. Because a lot of people ask me a question like, you didn't talk about cyber. This is not what this episode's for. This is us. This is the weekly rundown. We are unwinding on this one. So tune in for all the things. We drop an episode every day of the work week. So definitely check all that stuff. But hit up all the socials that go by our name, the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Like, share, subscribe, please. Without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
So my week wasn't too bad. Watched a couple things. So we continued watching. So the wife and I continued watching Lopez versus Lopez, which is getting funnier, right? So like I like George Lopez, you know what I mean? Like I like his comedy specials. I liked his old show, which one of the newer episodes in this one had some of the family from the old show show up, but not as him, right? Like he just makes inside jokes like, yeah, I liked your husband, you know what I mean? Like type thing, which was him, stuff like that. But it's getting better and it's funny. I laugh at it. They got this little kid on there. It's cute, man. He's like 7, 8 years old. He's hilarious to me, right? But watched that with the wife. What was the other one we were watching? We picked up season 3 of Ghosts. I don't know if you ever seen Ghosts, the TV series.
No. So I've seen the thumbnails. Like they have like he looks like a Boy Scout or Eagle Scout with the arrow going through his neck.
Yeah.
I've always been interested.
It's not bad. The first season was better. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hard to expand on that as it goes on. But third season, we watched a few of those episodes. Still funny. We're still going to watch it, but it's one of those ones where I gotta wait for her to be available before we can watch it, type thing. Like I don't want to be watching it without her. You know what I mean? She'll be like, "Did you watch more episodes without me?" Like, no. What else did I watch? So I was thinking about this. Something came up and it made me think about it. So the new Hellboy, right? The one that has David Harbour. I had seen it before, and I remember like people were dogging it pretty bad. And I was like, I don't remember it being that bad. So I watched that again, and I was like, man, I don't think it was that bad. You know what I mean? Like it was a little different, like some of the dialogue
just a little
and whatnot.
different.
Yeah, but I don't remember it being that bad. It was definitely more gory than the first two, than the Ron Perlman. Was that his name?
Yeah, I think it was just I think people just wanted Ron Perlman. That's the issue. But I thought David Harbour. I thought he did a good job. He's like a younger Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Right? No, I thought it was. And I watched it again. I was like, yeah, this wasn't that bad. I mean, it had its quirks, right? Like some of the CGI is kind of like, no, that wasn't too bad. But I can't remember what made me think about it. And I was like, let me see if I can find it. And I did. Like it was streaming on whichever network it was streaming on. And I watched that. But some of the big stuff, right? Let's talk about this. You kind of alluded to it, the diss tracks thing, right? I was actually in the gym last week. So I had a coworker that was telling me about Euphoria, which was on Kendrick's album, right? I listened to it and I was like, oh, okay, whatever, right? But I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan, right? Don't seek him out for anything. This guy in the gym was telling me about it. He was like, oh man, Euphoria. And then Rick Ross has this one against Drake titled Champagne Moments.
Yeah, something like
that. Champagne Moments or Champagne something or other. I was like, okay, yeah, that's all right. And I like Rick Ross, right? You know what I mean? But I'm like, man, I don't get it. And then you started sending me stuff and you were like, yo, check this out. Like he dropped this one yesterday. This one dropped an hour ago.
Yeah,
This
it
was
just
in
keeps
response to
getting at them.
and so like it prompted me to go out and look online and see what people are saying. And some of the stuff they got out there is crazy, man. Like, and what's crazy is that one of the videos you sent me, it had, I guess, what is Drake's house, and then it had like the
pins.
people on it, the pins on it for like what do you call them, sexual predators or whatever.
Yeah,
like that's what that is. And I was like, ooh, this is getting getting back.
Kendrick is getting at him.
Yeah, I was like, this is getting wild, man. But like again, I mean, I don't know if my heart just isn't in it like it used to be. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel the same to me like Nas and Jay-Z. It doesn't even feel like to me. And this is just like 6-7 years ago. Pusha T and Drake, you know what I mean? Drake is just catching bullets from everybody everywhere, man. It's just crazy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people are hating on his success or what.
I don't. So he's very, very successful. Like obviously he's a really good artist because he has like 42 top 100 or something like that, like something ridiculous.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like Drake's been dropping like for like over a decade. He's been dropping hits. I don't think he's a good person though, because everyone seems to not like him. So I don't know him personally, right? Like I don't know. Like he gives off a friendly persona. He's from Canada. They're very, very friendly people, but no one seems to like him in the industry because everybody's dropping a track.
Yeah, he seems to be very well hated. And again, I don't know if he's just done people wrong or what, right? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe because they don't like the persona. But here's the thing. He's getting called out a lot for lying about who he is, right? But like that is rap.
So that's Rick Ross.
That is, correctional officer Ricky. Yeah, of course, right? You know what I mean? But like still, but like for me, like I don't have a problem with that. Like I know 85% of you are lying, but how do you make it sound? You're entertainment. You know what I mean? Like I don't live the life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not out there doing those types of things. But like, how do you make it sound? How's the beat sound? How is your wordplay? Like that's what I need. You know what I mean? But Drake to me, like his first probably 2 albums, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get down with. But after that, he was kind of falling off for me anyway. But like, let him do his thing, let him make his money. Like I don't care.
Right.
But like nobody in the industry wants him to make any money right now. Like they are just trying to get I don't know what it is.
Right.
Like, they're just going hard at him.
Initially I thought it was because everybody's stuff was queued up, right? Like so they dropped the diss tracks and everybody's dropping albums and like they're making money. So I was like, oh, they're just hyping it up. It was kind of like the Kanye 50 Cent beef. That was all fabricated, right? And they talked about it afterwards, like we got y'all basically. Because why are they beefing? That combination makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped on the same day and they're just ratcheting it up trying to make more money. I thought that's what it was, but then it just kept going. I'm just like, oh, they really don't like this guy. And then Kendrick just started dropping multiple diss tracks a day. I'm like, oh, he's on the Eminem, MGK, like, I sincerely want your career to end now type situation. I'm just waiting. Like this weekend, he probably dropped another 2. Beats go hard. Like the family gram. I'm just like, oh, this is a banger. But I mean, then Drake dropped his Family Matters that had great production value, right? Like he's taking time to make like videos with some subliminal messages and stuff like that. And Kendrick is just dropping track after track after track. like you get a thumbnail with sexual predator dies. Like he did that himself.
Yeah.
He was like, my Lakers are out of the playoffs. I got nothing but time. But so I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, right? I think contemporary the best artists out right now are in no particular order: J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Benny the Butcher, and Pusha T. Like actual lyricists, right? That would be 4 of my top 10. And everybody else just fell off.
Yeah.
Or they making drill music, or it just doesn't sound good to me. Like I don't want to. It's just them making noises and like car screeches and bird noises, and like it's trash. It is trash. The only thing that's going up right now is production value. Like these beats that they're dropping for these tracks. Like I would just listen to that in the gym as opposed to the words. Like a little baby, he also had dropped some really good tracks from time to time, but when he doesn't, he still has a fire beat behind him, right? But yeah, rap's just not what it used to be. So I don't look forward to the battles because they usually don't end well for people, right? Like these two people are playing characters, and then someone further down the chain decides to hurt another person. You're just like, nah, that's not real. This is not real. It's not real life. So I usually don't look forward to it, but he's making me laugh. Like every track he drops, he's making me laugh. And some people are Drake supporters. Are like, Drake doesn't have to keep dropping, multiple tracks. Like everything he drops is like golden. Which I mean, everything he drops does make it to the top 10. So I mean, they might have something there. But when the only lyricist in this battle is Kendrick. Everybody else is just dropping music for the masses, in my opinion. Because his wordplay, man, and just the way he puts things together, it's so good. But I'm also like an Eminem fan, right? Like I like when he goes at people because he will drop 20 diss tracks on YouTube. He'll just conscious stream of just tracks. He'll just keep dropping on you. So I'm here for it, but I just hope it doesn't end in violence of some
real
sort.
violence.
Like, yeah, because people think this is real life. Like somebody in Toronto's like, oh man, we hate the West Coast. Like, West Coast of what? Like, which country? And then vice versa, right? So on the West Coast, like, I can't wait till I see one of them Toronto dudes. Like, y'all can't be further apart. You literally 3 time zones away from each other. These two dudes, like, they might not like each other, but like, there's no reason for someone lower down the line to be hurt by it in some way. But feelings are being hurt. Like, you got Drake talking about how Kendrick Lamar and his wife's marriage is not good, and how there's infidelity, and how he allegedly domestic violence. And then you have Kendrick saying that everybody's a sexual predator on OVO. And like listing them out, and then just all the weirdness. It's wild. Like, so I don't know if anybody's career will be tarnished by this, but J. Cole is the only smart person in this piece. He's like, I'm sorry, I did delete later, I'm out. I don't want any part of this. So I'm enjoying it. It's fun, right? And that's the way it should remain. Like, these two dudes are just sparring it with each other. One, Kendrick Lamar is writing all his own stuff, and then two, Drake has assembled a team to make great products. So that's just my opinion. Like, do I listen to Drake? Yeah, when he drops a pop song, I enjoy it.
I don't know. It's hit or miss for me. Like, very seldom does he do something that I'm like, all right, yeah. But like, it's got good beats, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Drake is like, ever since it really came out that he had ghostwriters years ago, like, I think he tried to go at it on his own for a little while, and was like, oh, this is not good. And then he started to bring them back again. Like, hey,
yeah,
let's make it happen.
And I like how nowadays they credit people. Like, back in the day, like, you had like Cheek. He probably wrote for everybody. He gets no credit, right? Like, you hear about stuff now, but like nowadays, like, everybody wants their credit. So the Drake track drops, it'll say performed by Drake, and then they'll have like 30 people who will write this thing. Same thing with Beyonce. Beyonce's list of co-creators is long, but it's to make a near perfect product, right? And then Kendrick's is like performed by Kendrick, written by Kendrick. That's it. He's like, I don't need nobody. Just put me in the booth.
Yeah, man. No, it's getting real out there, man. Like, I'm just like, wow. I feel bad because there's no way feelings are not getting hurt. You know what I mean? Despite what you're saying on the track, it's just like, because he got accused of being a deadbeat again, right? Like, Pusha got him for that 7 years ago, whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like, he hit him up again with that. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, I thought we were past this. Because here's the thing. One thing I will say about the Pusha T and Drake beef is it did prompt Drake to be a better father, right? Like, you did start seeing his son more after that. Like, you had no idea until that came out. And then he was like, no, I'm bringing my son to the games with me. You know what I mean? I'm at his birthday party. Right. You know, I'm doing all this stuff. So it at least prompted him to be a less absent father.
Yeah,
you know
be more present.
Yeah, like, so I'm just like, oh my gosh. But some of the stuff I'm hearing, I'm like, oh, because like some of the videos you sent, they had the lyrics in the video too, right? So it's no misinterpretation on what is being said here. I'm like, oh, I heard this, you heard heard this. It's like the gold and the blue dress. Like we didn't hear opposite things on this. Like, no, here it is. This is what he said. It's like, oh gosh, that might be too much. And then the Simpsons thing you said.
Oh yeah,
like so I've seen it's already dead. Like I've seen that episode. It just made me laugh. Like he's already dead.
It's hilarious. But it'll just fizzle out at some point because that's what happened with Pusha T and Drake. He just stopped responding.
Well, he wasn't going to come back from it. Like there was
right, exactly. Like if you can't win, you just stop responding. It's like, it means nothing to me. Again, like it's not going to stop him from dropping top 100. I mean, unless some of this stuff comes out later on, but like it takes years for this stuff to surface. Like look at Diddy. It's all alleged, but it's just a lot happening. So, but aside from that, so get any games in? You watch any of the playoffs?
No, I haven't watched any of it, man. This has been a down year for basketball for me. Like when it comes to watching and whatnot. Like I'll look up the next morning when I'm looking through my news and whatnot, check ESPN and be like, oh, okay, see a couple highlights and whatnot. But I have not been paying attention like I have been in the past, right? And I think it's just life things, you know what I mean? Like just different things. I can't get to it like I used to. But yeah, man, I tell you what, man, the Knicks.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, what is happening?
They trying to win it.
I gotta be a real fan now. Because I'm one of those people. Like the only team that I track a little bit more aggressively is the Bills, but I'm also a Yankees fan. I don't know who's on the roster, but that's just I'm from that area. That's my team, right? Yeah. Same thing with the Knicks. Knicks have been good since I was a kid, so I pay attention like the Linsanities and the what's my man's name? He married Lala.
Carmelo.
Yeah, Carmelo. When he was playing, like you get excited, and then it's just like, wow, they did nothing. But yeah, they've been actually tearing up. I'm like, damn, I gotta start paying attention. Like, who's on the roster? What are they doing? I know somebody gonna ask me, right? Like, oh, you Knicks fan? Like, yeah. So I gotta start paying attention.
You can't say nothing like, yeah, Jeremy Lin, he's great. Like, you can't come out with that. 10 years too late at that point.
Right, exactly. So I'm excited though. They're actually doing something. So even if they don't take it, which knock on wood they do. So far, me not paying attention. Like anytime I watch a game, they lose it. So me not paying attention, they win those. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not superstitious for real, but it gives me an excuse not to watch as hardcore, right? Just give me the highlights. But yeah, even if they don't get the chip this year, what have you, I think I'm gonna pay attention next year. Like, I'm gonna start paying attention to my team more frequently because they're actually doing something, right? And I want to support. But what about WNBA? So I don't really watch the WNBA, but like with the Caitlyn and the Angel Reese getting into the WNBA, I might start to pay a little bit more attention. But what surprised me, I'm not sure if you're already aware of this, they're already playing. Like
it's preseason.
The draft just happened? Yeah, but is it always that fast?
I'm not sure.
You drafted on a Friday, you start playing on Monday? That's what it felt like. Are they already balling?
I mean, the NBA is kind of quick like that too, though. Like,
is it?
Well, maybe not. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like there's more time between the two.
Well, no, because what is it? June? When's the NBA draft? NBA draft is June, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then like October is when they have their regular season, but like I want to say it's end of August, September is when they start doing. You know, so I mean, I guess they got a little bit more time.
Like almost 2 months between the two. Because same thing with NFL, right? Like they just did the draft. They're not going to start playing until August.
But they have their camps. Yeah, their preseason is in, but they have their camps, like their rookie mini camps and stuff like that. But no, you're right, man. Like that is kind of
already crossing people over. Like she's already posterizing people. And she like it legitimately feels like 1 week it's transpired. Like two max.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you're in WNBA now. She's already like balling on them. Dropping.
You're right, because the WNBA draft was the week before the NFL draft, which was the 27th. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's only been 2 weeks, and they are in preseason now. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like that's what's up. That's the way I would want it to be too. Like just to jump right from one to the other, but it doesn't feel like they got a break. Like especially if you won a championship, because they just won a championship like A month ago?
Well, they lost, but they did go to the championship game. Yeah, you're right.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did lose. Yeah.
But yeah,
Like a month
she
ago,
played.
right?
Yeah. That's true. That's
It's
true.
so fast. But
Yeah.
I might actually start paying attention this season. More attention, right? I will at least pick a team
Yeah.
and then go from there. Because I barely pay attention to my own team. So but it has piqued my interest. I am more interested because of how hard they're balling in college. Like to see them in the WNBA. It's already like in preseason. Like she's already breaking ankles. Like,
Yeah.
yo, we just got out here. So it's definitely interesting. But no games under your belt.
No, man.
Gotcha.
I know I keep saying this every week and I sound like a broken record. I will eventually get to, those games that I have not played.
Horizon's gonna delete itself.
It might, like I might go on there and be like, I thought I had this game on here, and be like, nope. GPT-4 saw that it was an exploit for you to have it on there and not be playing it, not patching it.
Took it off for you.
Took it off for you. Yeah. But no games, man. I haven't got the game time, man. Like whenever the wife becomes available, like I will stop doing what I'm doing and we'll sit down and watch.
Gotcha.
Time to do whatever, right? Because she does a lot of the, taking the children to the stuff they have to do in the afternoon and whatnot. Like my daughter has Girl Scouts, you know what I mean? So she'll go and she'll do that, and then she'll do Bible study and things of that nature. So then it's just me at home with the kids, you know what I mean? And
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I just I don't want to come off as a heathen. I'm not going to Bible study, but it's a woman's Bible study, right? So I'm not invited, so to speak.
Yeah, that'd be awkward.
Yeah, so, but yeah. So I don't know. I have not gotten into the games like I should. You know what I mean? My PS5 is just a streaming device for me at this point, right? Like unless something good comes out, like I'm not really playing games on it.
So for me, like, share, subscribe. Gotta say it. For me, I've playing the same two games, right? I got a bunch of stuff in the queue waiting for after I beat one of these, but it's still Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's still Helldivers 2. I haven't really switched up off of those. And then anticipation for later this month will be Hellblade 2 on the Xbox. It looks amazing. It's one of the first real next-gen games to drop. It's going to be a walking simulator, right? Like, it's not going to be a very long game, but it's one of the prettiest games that'll probably drop this year. So I'm excited about that, and it'll be on Game Pass. So I already paid for the subscription.
Is this dropping and going directly to Game Pass?
It's not only going directly to Game Pass. There'll be no physical copy.
Ooh,
it's digital only. Yeah, they're starting to switch it up.
Yeah, but that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Why pay the money to press the media, right? Like the disc, the physical disc, if like people are just not going to that anymore. Like it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, and they have the stats. They know how many people put discs in their console. That's the easy metric to pull. And I don't. I have one game per console. I have Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox that's on disc because Best Buy was selling it for $10. I couldn't pay for the digital copy at $70 if it's $10 physical. I had to buy the physical copy.
Yeah.
And then Final Fantasy VII Remake, the game that came out before Rebirth. It was a birthday present. So my wife got me the physical copy with the case and all that good stuff. And those are the only two discs that have been put in those separate systems. That is it. Everything else has been digital. Because why? Why get up? And the patch is going to be just as big as the game, right? So you're not saving space. Like, I'm going to get on disc because it's going to save me space on my hard drive. Not really, because it's going to make you install the game. Like, Final Fantasy VII made me install the game from the disc onto the console. But now I have to have the disc in for DRM.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. Like, I might as well just be all physical. The only console I keep physical games for is the Switch because they hold their value. Uncharted, if I go to trade that in and I had a physical copy, it's going to be like, they're going to give me like $2 at GameStop. But Mario Party, they're going to give me at least a quarter of what I paid for it. Like, they just hold more value.
Really?
When I traded out my Wii U for my Switch, I paid for the Switch plus 2 games. That's how much value was. And I didn't have that many games for the Wii U. It's just everything was almost a quarter to almost a half of its value.
That's crazy.
Which makes me want to trade this one in too. Like, that was the intent, but I'm like, I got to stop doing that. I got to start building a little collection of these consoles. Right? I'm a very minimalist dude. I throw everything away. But I start to get nostalgic for game consoles. I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish I had a Wii just so I can boot it up from time to time. But it'd be very sparingly. So it really would just be a dust magnet in the house.
What is the logic behind those places giving you more money for the resale on those? Like, I don't. Why Nintendo? Is Nintendo just? I don't know.
They don't go on sale is the thing with Nintendo. So it's harder for them to reduce the price. Like you'll see it in Uncharted, you'll see God of War, you'll see these mega deals. They're like 50% off, 75% off. Nintendo doesn't do that on purpose. So Nintendo consoles usually don't drop in price for a very long time. And then their games, like even I think Breath of the Wild. So the first Zelda game to drop on the Switch. I think that one is still retailing for like $40-$50.
Wow.
They just don't cut prices because that's how they maintain value through not reducing price. That's just one of their old school mentality things that they do.
How can they still do that when Tears of the Kingdom is out? You already have the next game after that one is already out. How can you still charge $40-$50?
We will buy it.
Really?
For that. So then we go trade in the GameStop because they're able to sell it for much more. Like their gouging is significantly less on Nintendo products than it is on everything else. So I always keep my Nintendo stuff physical. Then maybe it'll change next console, but I doubt it. To be honest with you, like because I went to go buy I wanted to buy Mario Wonder, and it was like the used copy was still almost the same price as the retail copy. So I was like, nah, I'll buy it new later on.
Wow.
They just hold value. Nintendo products are quality, sir. You saw the seal of quality on the back?
They
mean it.
You say that, but like they're always like their consoles are never the most powerful out there when it comes to graphics or anything like that. Like I've when it was by itself, like it was the only game in town, right? Like kind of thing, and then everybody else started coming up after that. Let me not say it was.
I would say the Super NES. That was like one of the most. It was like 16 bits.
Yeah.
16. It was killing people.
Yeah. But since they've had the competition from Microsoft, from Sony, like they've never been at the top. You know what I mean? When it comes to graphics, like even when they released first, it's just like
it's gonna be the same thing for whatever the Switch successor is called. Which I really wanted to be the Super Switch, like Super NES. I want that, but they're not gonna do that. It's gonna be Switch 2 or the Switch U or some other nonsense. But like I'm for certain they're going to stick with the form factor because it's working. I think they sold like 140 million units or something like that. Like the Switch is bananas on sales. Because usually they back in the day they had two pillars, right? It was the Game Boy and then it was the console, and then it was three pillars. It was like the Game Boy, the DS because it had like two screens or whatever, and then the console. And they had a bad run with the GameCube. It was just not as popular. And then they had a sniffly, terrible run with the Wii U. They killed that console off pretty fast. So they decided to collapse it. We're going to build a hybrid. And since then, everybody's knocking out with handhelds. So you have the Steam Deck. You have the PS Portal, which is a streaming device, but still a handheld. There's rumors that Microsoft's coming out with a handheld pretty soon. Like everybody jumps on Nintendo's bandwagon. From Rumble Pack to handhelds now. So I think they're going to stick with that form factor, and they're just going to make it a little bit more powerful. Whatever $300 can get you right now on the component aspect of it, like screen, chipset, rumble, whatever that maximum is, that's what they're going to sell. So I think it's going to be I think rumors are it's going to be 1080p in your hands, because right now it's like 720 or less, and it's going to be 4K when you dock. And that's all I need from a Nintendo system, because it's already pretty with its current setup. Like it's not 4K, but if you play Mario Kart or if you play any of the Mario Galaxy or Odyssey, they look amazing. But it's the artistic style and then gameplay, right? That's what Nintendo does. I think they're going to do the same thing. It just needs to be a little bit beefier so they can get some more third parties in there, because you can't get certain games to run on the Switch right now. It's just not possible. So I think it will be, in my opinion, it will be a Series S in your hands. I think that's as powerful as it'll be, which will be phenomenal for Nintendo.
Yeah, that's good for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the thing is that I don't know. maybe it is the nostalgia of it, because like the people that are paying for that now, like it's adults that are paying for that now. It's not the children at 10, 12, 14, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Although I say that, and I have my two boys, and their difference in age is 10 years, right? Like they're up there playing the Switch, right? So I can't even say that because my son is 21. You know what I mean? The other one's 11.
Right.
So I don't know. I just don't. Man, I don't understand it. But and the thing is, I had a Nintendo, right? But like when it came to like the Mario Karts and the stuff like that, I never really got into it. I was just like, this doesn't do it for me, right? Like I need to have a chainsaw on the end of a gun going through some aliens. You know what I mean? I need to be Gears of War in it.
I can wait for Gear 6. That's going to be amazing. You know, the viscera. See the guts flying out. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, no, I get that. So it's because Nintendo captures all ages. Like you said, you have that span between the two, like 21 to 11. They got that. And then me I'll be 41 in a couple weeks. Got me too. Like Nintendo just spans all those generations, so they're able to sail through. And for them, it's gameplay over graphics. It's just they got the formula down. I just think that the handheld market is about to be saturated because everybody and their mom's making a handheld. So they're gonna have to come through with. It's got to launch with. In the launch window, it has to have a Mario. It has to have a Zelda. It has to have some banger, because everybody else has the third parties. So what is Nintendo going to have on the system? And rumor is that they did delay it. Like it was supposed to come out this fall. And the rumor is early 2025 because they wanted to make sure they had enough titles in the pipe. And you can kind of see that in the release schedule because they had a bunch of games that they're dropping at the end of the Switch's life cycle, all in the first half of the year. And there's nothing big at the end of the year. So it looks as though they did have a plan to let's knock out our, the last breath for the Switch, and then the fall we're going to roll out the new thing, and that didn't happen. So maybe COVID, maybe supply chain, or maybe they just didn't have the games yet.
So is that going to hurt them not being available for the Christmas season though?
No, because the Switch launched in March of.
Did it?
Yeah, I forget what year that was. So they can launch whenever they want to. Like, because I'm gonna buy day one, right? If I get a hold of one. We didn't have those supply chain shortage issues when the Switch launched as well, though. That was the PS5 and Xbox suffered COVID supply chain when they launched, because it was like 8 years ago. Has it been 7 or 8 years?
I was like, the Switch is probably 2017, 2018-ish.
Something like that. But yeah, they launched in March. They sold through, and then they pushed more units out for the holiday. Like it was perfect timing. Like they got us early adopters, and then they got the hype cycle, and then they dropped the holiday. And again, they're like 140 million or something like that, 120 million, something like that. Switches out there. So, and then their attach rate's crazy. Like every Switch has at least, I think they said 5 or 6 games people buy. Because some people, they'll buy a PS5 and they only buy Madden, so they're only going to have like 4 or 5 games. But no, the Switch, they drop bangers. People buy them. People like me.
Yeah. Released worldwide in most regions on March 3rd, 2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So 7 years old, and it's not powerful. It didn't launch powerful. It was their most powerful, but it was not a powerful console. And now I think they're going to do it again. But I think 1080p in your hand, 4K docked, it's plenty enough. Can you imagine Zelda in 4K? Finally, finally. So we'll see what the future holds on that one. But yeah, I'm excited. And then I'm gonna watch part 2. I'm gonna watch Rebel Moon Part 2 this week, so we can talk about it next week. And Katt Williams dropped his special last night, but I'm old, so I did not stay up to watch it live. So I'm going to watch it today.
So let me ask you something. Are you watching it to see what he's going to say about his recent controversies? Or are you watching it because you're like, yeah, he's funny, I like to see what he says?
I like Katt Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not the funniest stand-up comedian. I think his film and his TV show stuff is funnier. I think he's scripted. He's hilarious. But Shannon Sharp showed that, like, I don't know if that was impromptu or what, but he was also funny there. And there's a method to the madness, is what it's looking like. So I want to see. especially because he's live. I'm sure he's gonna talk about the Drake Kendrick beef at some point. Like I want to see since Shannon Sharp, what else does he have to say? Because I do find him funny. Again, not the funniest stand-up comedian, but I would pay to see Katt Williams if he was in town. I'd pay to see that. I still would put Kevin Hart and
Chappelle,
above him, but he's still in top. I'd say out of comedians right now, he's top 3 for me.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I think we're starting to see the beginning of the. In 5 years from now, he'll be doing the Kanye type stuff. Like he'll be crazy and he'll be like, "No, this is
hopefully not." He already went through his crazy phase.
Yeah,
he was wilding out.
He did, right? And like he never. I don't think he ever. He just kind of fell off, right? Like he didn't stay. He didn't stay popular, right? To where like he was putting out comedy specials and whatnot, but he wasn't on. I don't know if Sharp's show is nationally televised. I don't know if it's only.
I think it's just podcasts.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's just YouTube and social media platforms.
Okay, yeah, because I know he has one with Chad Ochocinco too, which I know is a podcast.
Right? Yeah,
I couldn't remember if that one was a show on like Fox Sports 1 or something like that.
No, Club Shay Shay, I think it's just social media
podcast. Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean it could, which still is far reaching, right? But it's not like it's on ABC, NBC affiliate or something like that. But I don't know, man. He's a little out there for me. And I don't know. His earlier stuff was funny. Like I liked what he was doing earlier, but like as the time went on, I was just kind of like, I don't know, man.
We'll see because I didn't really particularly like World War III. I think it was his last stand up, and it was mediocre at best. But every time I see him in the media, so if he's on a radio show, if he's on like all that stuff is much better. So I think it's just a matter of. Every comedian doesn't fit every single thing. Like I'm sure he's an amazing stand-up comedian in real time, but when you make a comedy special, like that's tailored over time, and you have writers and stuff. It's either hit or miss. Because even Kevin Hart has, I think, out of all of his specials, my favorite is Grown Ass Little Man or something. I think that's the title of it, and that was like his first or second.
Yeah.
And nothing has topped that yet. I've seen him in person with you. I'm going to see him. He's coming here the week of my birthday. So I'm going to see him here.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my birthday present. One of my birthday presents for my wife. I'm very excited. But I want to say his movie and his TV stuff has gone up, and his stand-up has kind of gone down. I think it's the same thing for other comedians as well. I don't think you could be great at all of them unless you're Chappelle, unless you're Richard Pryor, unless you're Bill Cosby before the before the controversy, right? He killed it in all different aspects, right? So that's a particular type of comic, and I don't think Kevin Hart or Katt Williams are there right now, but they may get there, right? They're good in aspects of it, but they're not good at all of it, in my opinion. Cause I watched the Richard Pryor thing today. Like if something came on, like The Toy, I'd watch that. Hilarious. So, but yeah, that's just me. Or Eddie Murphy. So yeah, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Arsenio Hall, because he's funny in all aspects. Those are particular types of comics. Bernie Mac.
Bernie's
We're just funny in everything.
Bernie's hilarious, yeah. Even his show.
Yeah, like everything. Movies, like so Friday to hell. He's been so many movies I can't even think of one.
Even in Players Club where he played that cop.
Yeah.
Like that was funny.
Like he's just hilarious in every aspect of what he did. He was hilarious in it. So being good out of 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 or whatever, Katt Williams is not bad. That's not bad batting average, to be honest with you. So I'm excited to see what he does with this live special. And then whatever movies or TV he shows up at, because he again, I think he kills it in movies and TV. I think that's where he shines the brightest. And then predicting the future, because in Club Shay Shay, he talked about his Diddy stuff before it happened. One of his quotes is, he was like, "You got to tell him no." Like
Yeah.
somehow Diddy takes you out shopping, you gotta tell him no. I did. And now you see Diddy stuff is ridiculous.
Mhm.
They talk about the other day. I heard that people were recounting a time where they were playing naked basketball at the Diddy mansion. No, thank you.
Really?
There's a lot of sports. None of them I want to play naked.
Yeah.
None of them. I
Sure.
can't think of one.
Yeah.
Especially not basketball. How you gonna defend? How you guarding? So, but Katt Williams brought that up in like what, January? Talking about how Diddy was weird. And now you've seen it. So hey, he's Nostradamus.
Like Paul Mooney's Nicodamus.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we should end it here with the Diddy playing basketball naked. I think that ends the show. So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP, and then Fridays everything else: movies, books, games, diss tracks, and naked basketball on Friday's episode. So hopefully it's not your first episode. Go back, listen to Monday through Thursday, please. Subscribe on all the things that go by our name, either the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, Ask a CISSP, or hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, Threads, IG, Facebook, TikTok. I'm sure I forgot some other places. Medium for your articles and your newsletters. So stay safe, stay secure.